Hey, Tim Sykes, Millionaire Mentor and Trader here with a video lesson reviewing the hottest stocks right now. The overall market is flat and actually slightly down lately, but these stocks keep going. Reliable patterns keep working. And I'm very proud of many of you guys because the past day or so, I've actually been working here in Europe. I'm with the Stocks to Trade European Development Team, and we're working on some new features for the software. FYI, please use Stocks to Trade for your news, your scanning, and your charting. It will help me teach you better, okay? I want everybody to understand how to use this platform. There are free guides. I'll link them in the video below. But this is the future, and wait till you see what we have in store. I don't just come to Europe for fun. Usually I do, but not this trip. This trip, it's all business. But the cool thing is I still gave a live webinar yesterday to my challenge students. And more importantly, many of you guys are absolutely nailing plays like SORL, this earnings winner, which I've been buying since on this dip in the 530s here. And I'll talk about that in a second. But first, I got to congratulate some of you. Here is MWL. And he says, Stocks to Trade gave me a piece of info that was worth at least 2 years of membership fees. I'm just saying. And I love seeing that. This is the beauty of education. This is the beauty of good information and the right mindset. And you can really start to increase your knowledge and increase your accounts once you have the right mindset. One piece of good information, one proper tactic can make you months or years worth of profits very quickly. So it's very important that you get the right mindset. It's very important that you get on the right track. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but this is just a good example. D. Austin nailed GLYC. Let's talk about GLYC for a second. So SORL is the big earnings winner. I dip bought it correctly here. I was buying it in the 580 region here. Got a nice little pop to 6. But I missed my execution yesterday. You challenge students, please, please, please review yesterday's webinar. It'll be posted shortly. I'm sorry that I was grumpy. I'm jet lagged, and I was really kind of frankly pissed off that I didn't get executed in here in the 550s. This was on my watch list as a potential dip buy, but I was multitasking. I'm answering questions, and I didn't want to chase it. And as it turns out, earnings winners keep going. And this was a fantastic example of how an earnings winner can really break out, not necessarily just on the first day, but on the third or the fourth day. This is day number 4 after the earnings spike. And this is exactly what I say with earnings winners. And I'm so proud that several of you guys captured it, even though I personally missed it. I had 2 good trades the first 2 days, and I just missed it. Every now and then, I'm going to whiff. It's not the end of the world, but it definitely doesn't make me happy. You challenge students, please do review that webinar and see what I did right and what I did wrong. I was on the right track. It was on my watch list. I just didn't get executed. GLYC was the big winner yesterday. I'm filming this in the middle of the night. That's why you see these prices are unchanged. The middle of the night for you guys in the U.S. I'm in Europe. I'm sorry for the time zone change. GLYC was a really nice breakout above the pre-market highs here at 770. What I like to do is look for big pre-market winners, and then I'm just looking to buy the pre-market, high of the day break. And obviously, this was very quick. Those of you guys in the challenge webinar saw, you had literally 3 minutes to buy it at around 770 and sell it into the morning spike in the low 8s. And then it was stuffed. It looked like it was going to be a failed spiker, but then it came back. Even if I had been, let's say, having the right mindset, no developers to deal with, no jet lag, and best case scenario, I was going to chase this because frankly, it was already up from the mid 6s. So at best, I would have bought 2,000 shares here at like 775, and I wouldn't have even been able to alert it because by the time I'm writing out the alert, the move is already over. So when you trade at the market open, you have to be very, very quick. And some of you guys did it, and that's cool. And some of you guys shorted. So there was $1 to be made, actually $2 a share to be made from the pre-market lows. But the high of the day break, which I would have bought, which is the kind of pattern that I like, there was nearly $1 a share to be made in 3 minutes. And I did not get executed. I missed. And then there was roughly $1 a share of downside. But the all-day spike, I mean, this is just impressive. This is actually a little too choppy for me. So if you missed it, don't feel too bad. I probably would have missed it, even if I had, the perfect environment, which I certainly did not. This is very, very choppy, but you can see the overall trend is clearly up. I know a lot of short sellers in other chat rooms. They're saying, oh, this and that, fundamentally it shouldn't go up this much. And they ignore price action. And there's a lot of wannabe shorts these days because they think it's so easy, and they get crushed on stocks like this. So don't be the stubborn short seller that I see too many other chat rooms and too many other websites being. Wait for the first red day. This is just the first green day. But anyways, I like D. Austin. He found this stock the night before the big move. And he found it simply because it was a big percent gainer and it fits my, qualifications for these kinds of stocks. And guess what? These qualifications, these indicators work, even when the overall market is doing nothing. So props to you, D. Austin. I got to give props to Fahim because Fahim nailed this. Buying it and making roughly $1 a share, second dip buy. And so he's seeing the pattern over and over again. Queens, New York, what up, Fahim? I like it. And altogether, he made 4 trades, making $5,000 using Robinhood, and that's pretty sweet. Tobias, easiest trade ever today, made 304.5 minutes, done for the day. It's easy once you study. I don't want anybody thinking that trading is really easy. Stephen Duck said, "Oh, trading is easy," in my interview with him, and I was like, "No, trading is not easy. Don't say that." And he's like, "But you didn't let me finish." Trading is easy once you master your emotions, once you get disciplined, once you study. So it does feel easy, but trust me, Tobias, don't get cocky. Every now and then you get an easy trade or you get a trade that works out very well. And then every now and then there's just a trade that just goes the opposite way. And, obviously you want the easy trades all the time, but just don't get used to it because GLYC worked out for a lot of longs and shorts just got crushed. But be ready to be wrong on any stock. I'm proud that you were nailing this one, and I'm proud that you see how quickly you can make money once you're prepared. But keep taking those profits and don't get cocky. Linaire, I like this. This is actually a sweet trade. Linaire is trading with a smaller account, and that's okay. Many of my top students started with just a few $1,000s, and most of my students with bad attitudes start with 6 figures. Trust fund babies, rich people, they're like, I don't want to start small. I'm just going to go big all the time. And they actually don't usually do well after a few years because they have the wrong mindset. So I like Linaire trading with a small account, but making nearly $3 a share on GLYC. I mean, this is a fucking amazing trade. And whether you're trading with, 27 shares or whether you're trading with 2,700 shares or 27,000 shares or paper trading, get used to this volatility. There is worldwide hate against penny stocks and low price stocks. Trades like this, where you can make literally 50% on your money in a day, guess what? This is the kind of play that really helps you understand that this niche actually can be used for good. Jesus, I like this. He says it's the same fucking patterns. I know, Jesus. I've been doing this for 2 decades. I've been teaching for a decade. Only a few hundred people even bother watching all my video lessons. It's kind of sad, but I'm glad that you see it and you made 870, your second biggest win, and that's cool. So wait for this pattern, buy the high of the day breakout, rinse and repeat again and again. And here's Bolko, made $60, and again, it's okay to trade small. I see some negativity out there on social media. I see some negativity in the chat room where big traders like to rip on little traders. Just, if anybody ever rips on you guys with your small accounts, just stand up to the big trader and just say, fuck you. Fuck you for trying to put me down. Because I don't care how small of an account you have potential. And we all start somewhere. So, Boko, it wasn't on Boko's comment, but I saw a few other, social media mentions where they're ripping on some of my students. Outsiders like to say, oh, Tim's teaching this stuff and you make so little. You make so little at first, but you learn good habits. Okay? Look at Bolko buying this SORL, the earnings winner, at 647 and selling it, in the 690 area. That's not bad. Making nearly 10% in what? He bought it at 1 o'clock and he sold it at 212 and then like 247. So he's holding it for roughly 2 hours and he's making nearly 10%. So you have to keep everything in perspective too. Obviously I wish I was in SORL. I wish that I was a little bit taller. I wish that I was a baller. If I had a girl, then I would call her in a phone. I don't know. I'm not a good rapper, but you can't look back and say, oh, I could have done better. You just try to do your best on every trade. You try to take the meat of the move. And Bolko did a decent job at that. So this is good practice. And whether you make $60 or $600 or $6,000, it's all about developing good habits, especially at the beginning. Okay? And I want you to understand that. If that makes sense with that, please leave a comment underneath this video saying, I will develop good habits. 5 words I'm asking for. And I'm going to look at all the comments. I like to see who can follow simple instructions. I will develop good habits. And you'll buy and dip buy earnings winners like SORL. And Mike Swick, who's one of my newest students, he's a UFC veteran and he's a badass fighter. And look at this. He's making a little over $1 a share on GLYC. Profit in 1 hour. So awesome job, Mike. And I'm proud to be teaching you. I'm a big fan. You UFC guys and you fighters, you guys train so fucking hard for so long, and not just UFC. Any professional athlete. And it's very similar to trading, where you might not be training physically. Some of the best traders are they look like a potato. Like they're just fat. They're out of shape. We're not training our bodies here, although I have been trying to get in better shape lately. But some of the best traders in the world are just not in good physical shape, but they're training their brain. And it's a different muscle, obviously. It takes time to get used to train your brain, but GLYC, this is a great example. First green day on big news, and just perfect breakout. Really, it was a multi-month breakout, above here, above 9. I was kind of surprised that it kept going. You guys in my challenge webinar know I didn't want to chase, but this is a multi-year breakout. And look at all these different time frames. It had massive resistance here in the 9s, and it blew through that. So props to you guys. For me, SORL is more my kind of a play. Earnings winner. Multi-year breakout. Obviously, I've been buying it a few times. Once it got over 5, especially on earnings, this is what can happen. And this is an extreme example. Normally, you don't get this massive squeeze. But the cool thing is, a lot of people think I'm full of shit. So they think that, oh, Sykes says it's an earnings winner. Like, I see messages all over social media and in other chat rooms, and people are betting against me because they don't think that the earnings winner pattern is real. They think, oh, Sykes is just pumping this when I'm buying it in the 5s the other day. And so they're shorting it, thinking that it's going to come back down to the 4s because, frankly, this is a big move for this kind of a stock. And it just creates a short squeeze. So if you think I'm full of shit, I welcome you to bet against me. You just allow for these short squeezes to happen. There's a whole little clique of like these bitter short trolls, and they're so ugly and weird and narrow-minded, they can't see the patterns that are staring right in front of them. I bought this a few times, but I sold way too soon, and I missed out on the big move. So I'm a pretty shitty pumper if I'm the one who's doing the pumping. Or maybe, in reality, this is just an earnings winner, and I have 1,100 plus video lessons on earnings winners, okay? 1,100 plus video lessons for you to study on Profitly. And you can look at the categories. I'll link the categories, and I'll link specifically the 1,100 earnings winners video lessons. So unless you're completely lazy and, just don't want to learn, you should be watching every single one of the earnings winners lessons, because it's all about studying the past to get better comfortable and better prepared for the future. And even though I was right on SORL, I didn't have any huge profit. I didn't want to chase it. I underestimated it not once, not twice, but 3 times now. And I missed my execution and I didn't want to chase. So even I can do better. But at least, I've been kind of pounding the table on the stock the past few days. So these patterns work whether you want to believe me or not, whether you want to, play them or if you want to bet against me. I don't care. I'm going to keep teaching. I'm going to keep learning. And, it's all about developing good habits. So hopefully you understand that. Congrats to all of you guys, though. Mike Swick, Bolko, Jesus or Jesus, Linaire, Tobias, Fahim with multiple trades, D. Austin, and MWL. All you guys are doing is helping yourselves and helping your future selves. And this is what I want more of. I need you guys thinking about this game in the long run. It's very easy to get discouraged in the short term, getting used to these stocks. Like, how did we know to play these 2 stocks, GLYC and SORL? Well, they fit my patterns. They have the right catalysts. They have the right percent gains. There are thousands of stocks out there. The overall market is barely budging. And yet, if you look through my chat room archives from the past few days, we're absolutely crushing it on these plays. And, I'm seeing some people making $1.50 a share or maybe even $1.50 a share on plays like SORL. I have a few people who still have yet to sell, and I think that they should lock it in. But then again, I've underestimated it. Maybe they're right. And some students, I have 2 challenge students specifically who are in from the 5s. And they say, Tim, you always sell too soon. Let me just hold this. And so far, both of them are right. So there's multiple angles to be learned from here. I'm not always going to be right. Sometimes I'm going to whiff. Sometimes I'm going to miss a trade. I'm kind of traveling all over for my charity and now for Stocks to Trade and for, just random stuff. I live a crazy life. So I want you to be self-sufficient. I don't want you to ever follow anybody into a trade. I don't want you to follow anybody's alerts. I want you to learn from them. This is why I show 1,100 earnings winners, okay? I didn't know that I really didn't even know that I had 1,100 earnings winners. Let me just show you for a second. So we have these categories on Profitly. If you look on your video lesson library and you start to see all these different videos. And I'll link this page so you can see it, but you guys need to get on Profitly and you need to get organized, okay? I have a few free videos here or there on YouTube, but this is where you should really study on Profitly because you can organize everything. Look at this, 3,400 video lessons on trading mistakes. And, if we scroll down, here are the earnings winners, okay? 1,100 plus freaking lessons, all on earnings. And again, it's not an exact science. I know some of you guys are thinking like, how do you know to a T? I don't. I know to respect multi-month breakouts. I know to respect the fact that they can spike on day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, okay? And I know this because I have experience. And this list of 1,100 video lessons is just going to keep growing. I mean, this is all just in the past few weeks. I film a lot because I want you to learn from every trade, every missed trade, every successful trade, and just get in the habit of learning, which patterns, which indicators matter the most. I understand it's very overwhelming at first. I understand that pretty much everyone else in finance thinks that I'm crazy for suggesting people trade these low price stocks. But if you start to study more and you start to see these patterns again, I think you'll come to agree with me that, this stuff isn't as random as you might think. And if anybody ever calls my beliefs or theories or strategies into question, I just point them to my library and say, hey, here's my evidence, and that's all I can do. So I totally bungled SORL. I'm glad that many of you guys didn't. I did not trade GLYC, and so I missed out on that, but I'm glad you guys did better. I love when students do better than me, and I'm going to keep trying to do the best I can, but frankly, I think I'm also a better teacher than I am trader. So it's not the end of the world. when I personally miss out and when my students do well. That shows that you guys are becoming self-sufficient, which is what I want for all of you. And that's why I have the most millionaire students, because I think that you guys are getting on the right track rather than all these chat rooms where they just buy a low float stock and they say, oh, I'll buy this ticker, and everyone follows the fucking leader. I don't want that at all. And I'm very proud that most of my top students like to short sell. Although on earnings winners like this, you can see that this is not a short sell type setup. This is a multi-month, multi-year breakout, and congrats to all longs. I will be in chat later today. I might miss the market open, but I will definitely be in chat. I don't even know what time I'm going to post this video lesson. We'll see how long it'll take to upload. But great week. I'm proud of you guys. And Stocks to Trade, please get this. To the Stocks to Trade team, thank you guys for all your hard work. And, you know, I think we just put in like an 18-hour day going over new features. It's kind of crazy. Some people think I might be a little crazy. Maybe I am, but I see so much potential in this software. I see so much potential in all of you. And I feel like I'm cheating myself and I'm cheating you if I don't give it 110% every day. And don't cry for me. You know, trading from Europe is not the end of the world. I have some really beautiful things to show you when I get some time. Thank you.